Wesley So, the number 7 in the world, played a rapid match against the soon-to-be youngest grandmaster in the world, Rameshbabu Praggnanandhaa from India, only 12 years old, recently made his last grandmaster known and now awaits to be awarded the grandmaster title. And they played a rapid match in Lyon in Spain, 4 games, and I want to give you a summary of what happened in these 4 games. So let's get to it. In the first game, Wesley So is playing with the white pieces, and we're starting right here. Position has just become sharp. Black just took on h4, the bishop is attacked, and here Wesley's played bishop to d6. Good move, attacking the rook. And Praggnanandhaa decided to give up the exchange. He played e5. He should have gone rook f7 simply, but even then also his position is not easy. He played e5, but here, So rightly so decides that this bishop on d6 is quite a strong piece. He doesn't give it up for the rook, but he blitzes out g5. Strong move, distracting the bishop. Bishop has to take. And here, if So had taken on e5, his position would be just crushing. He has a potential attack, and the bishop is so strong. Black is underdeveloped. This position is hopeless for black. But even the best players in the world have oversights, and So played queen h5, thinking there's no defense against these threats, but he missed the simple move e4, and suddenly the position is not that clear again. In fact, it's about equal. As you can see, the engine bar on the left is balanced. White should go f4 now, and then after bishop f6, simply retreat with the bishop, let's say. Position is quite unclear, but So, after expecting to have a crushing attack, decided to also here continue his attack and sacrifice material. Took on e4, gave a check, but it turned out that his attack is not that strong, and black has 2 pieces for the rook now. Position still is quite complicated, as you can see, with the nice pawn chain here for white, but black has sufficient material. So we'll jump forward and see the next critical moment. A lot of pieces have come off the board. Still we have this configuration, rook against 2 pieces. White has an advanced pawn on a6, but black also has an advanced pawn on h2. The position is equal, but if somebody has to be precise, it's white. And here So made a mistake. He played e4, after which move he should be lost. Instead he should play king e4, and we'll see why in a moment. After e4, black played king g7 correctly, king g6, rook h8, and here's the point. e4 allowed black to play this move, bishop f4, threatening to cut off the rook from guarding the pawn from queening. And now after rook h4, king g5, rook h8, black can do the same, use the same motive. Again, it's about bishop h4, and this time there will be no way to defend it against it. Black achieves this setup and will queen and win. But Praggnanandhaa missed this now, and he also missed this idea again later. Here, by the way, So could have played e5, bring once again the king back to e4. That's just vital in this position to not allow this bishop f4 maneuver, or bishop g3 and bishop h4. The king has to stay close to the pawn. King c5 was played, king g5, king d4, and now g3 with the same idea we just saw was winning again. Praggnanandhaa missed it, went for this. Now the position is equal once more, and we get to the next critical moment in a second, right here. Now, same motive already, again, this time with the g pawn instead of the h pawn. Black's threatening to play bishop g3, cut off the rook, and then queen. So, white should take the pawn simply, and this would be a draw, because black cannot keep both minor pieces. He has to give up one of them for the pawn, and then of course it would be a draw. However, So played king c6, after which bishop g3, he can just resign. Since black is queening, this is what happened, and the pawns are not fast enough here. There are many ways, of course. Knight c7 is quite simple, stopping this, and black will make use of his extra queen for sure. So Praggnanandhaa took the lead with the first game, winning with the black piece after being pretty much lost out of the opening. He came back after this oversight, and then again in the end mutual mistakes, but So made the final one. Let's get to the second game. This time Praggnanandhaa with the white pieces. And let's see from the beginning, because this is becoming interesting very early on. Here's sideline, bishop b5, and now black would actually need to play a strange move like knight b8 or e6. He played a natural move, bishop g7, but why is this a mistake? You see the engine bar going up. Why is this a mistake? What can white do here? And this is, well, a rare mistake you see from a player of So's caliber. He allowed bishop takes f7, which just wins on the spot. King takes, knight g5, knight e6. This is a common motive, by the way. You can remember this idea. Bishop takes, knight g5, knight e6. And here queen e8 only move to the queen. Knight c7 now picking up the rook. Because white has advanced the pawn to a5, he has no problems getting this knight out, and he'll be just an exchange up, at least. So this is just winning, and you would have expected Praggnanandhaa to take the win from this position. But maybe he also played too fast. He played d3 and then we had a normal game. So let's skip a little bit ahead and go to this position. A lot has changed. Black has taken over the game and white has just played c4. He wants to get some grip on the light squares, but here we see a nice motive. If black goes d4, then white has this square available for his pieces. So what does black do? He first plays e4. And now after d takes e4, now he plays d4, so white doesn't have access to a square. There was an even better move here though. Can you figure out what that could be? What can black do here instead of d4, which So played? Exchange sacrifice. Rook takes f3, and this just looks gorgeous. G takes f3, now d4, and the black squares, the dark squares in the white position are so weakened. There's knight takes e6, knight f4 coming. This is just a positional dream position for white, combined with the protect the passed pawn on d4. But So played d4 right away when the position is not that clear. Again, queen c6. Actually, white might be even a bit better, but quite complex to play. Bishop a4, queen c7. So we go through these moves fairly quickly to get to the next critical position. White gives a pawn, but he has nice piece play here. You can see the white pieces are all quite active. Still, black's able to defend, also because the knight is covering important squares here. f4, b5, rook h3, threatening checkmate, h6, and here if Praggnanandhaa played knight e4, first take on b5 and then play knight e4, the position remains pretty unclear and everybody's game. However, he played knight e6, knight takes, bishop takes, now rook b6, a good move to guard along the 6th rank. And here white should just take on b5 and then play bishop g4. He's a pawn down, but well, still a full game ahead. Praggnanandhaa played rook to g3 going after this pawn, but this was a big mistake. Can you see why? This should not take you too long. Well, yes, simple attack, rook to d8, attacking the queen, and the queen cannot keep defending the bishop. White loses a piece and he resigns. So quite unfortunate event, a turn of events here for Praggnanandhaa, having a chance to win pretty much out of the opening, but missing it. And then here, when everything was okay, he lost the game in a matter of 2 moves. So let's get to the third game. Here again, So with the white pieces. So let's flip this around. There we go. And this is the position. Black to move, played b5. And here Praggnanandhaa really shows his talent. And by the way, in this screen, I messed up the title. Praggnanandhaa still I am not GM yet. b4, bishop takes f5, and now b takes c3. Intermediate move. Okay, this you might say is not too difficult to see, right? But here, So probably expected black to take back the bishop, but Praggnanandhaa saw something better. He played rook to b8, very strong move, bringing in the rook to b2, and this means trouble for white. Black is pretty much winning here. Bishop e4, now rook b2, which is good. Even better would be to play king e7, because if white takes on c6, black has still time to bring this rook, and this is even more crushing. And it turns out that this threat of rook b2 is so strong that Black can even play a quiet move like king e7. Rook b1, by the way, does not help because of the takes, c2 check. Black would win the queen. Rook to b2 immediately was strong as well. But here at least white can escape into an endgame, which, fair enough, is bad for white because here he has to give back the piece, which he did. Otherwise, black would queen this pawn somehow, win even more material. So takes, and with this position, white is up a pawn at the moment, but you can see the rook is very strong on the second rank, and black can pick up this pawn anytime he wants. And actually, that's what he should have done here. He played rook to c8, which is also good, but just taking the pawn and then advancing the a pawn would have been very strong, and black would have excellent winning chances. The position is just winning, since this pawn will bind the white pieces, and also the knight is not a very good piece against pawns on the edge of the board, a or h pawns. Praggnanandhaa played rook gc8, and his position remains good for a long time. Still here it's very good. He won back the pawn. He's about to pick up another one, but he picked up the wrong one. Again, he should go after the a2 pawn here with great winning chance for sure. He took on e3, and here So shows his class to simplify matters and get closer and closer towards the draw. d5, and here the black advantage has already decreased. Rook c5. Now the last chance to play for something was to go bishop d2 here or rook a1, but bishop d2 is better. Praggnanandhaa played h5, but now, well, even rook takes c1 would be a draw, but also rook takes h5 did not really promise black that much, and it was a draw in the end. In this final position, the players agreed to draw as white is active enough, compensating for the minus pawn. And also there's not a lot of material left. So what's the score? 1.5 to 1.5. Last game decides who takes this match victory. So we have Praggnanandhaa again with the white pieces against So. And this time it was quite a smooth game for So up to this point. It was an Italian game, and he slowly outplayed his opponent. And we reach this endgame where black is very comfortable. As you can see, pressure on the f2 pawn. The white pieces are in general rather passive. There's no play for white. And here So played knight to e5. And Praggnanandhaa played knight to c4. He would need to stay passive with a move like rook d2, g4, h4. Black can try for a long time, maybe sacrifice a pawn at the right moment, but this was still the best defense for white. He played knight to c4, exchanging the knights, but this rook in game is very promising for black as he has a passed protected pawn, just like in game 2 actually, on d4. Now g4, good move. White cannot keep the position close because after h4, rook f3 would be quite awkward to me. You would need to put your rook on b5 where it's pretty much stuck, so you cannot do that. As if you take on f3, you will lose the rook. And after takes, now the h file opens, which black utilized immediately, bring the rook to h8 and h7, rook to g1. Here e5 might be smarter actually to still improve the position first, because in the game Praggnanandhaa had a chance here to keep on fighting in this position. It looks really dim, but there's this trick that I want you to take away from this video. It's a nice trick. So what can white do here to keep defending himself? Black wants to go rook f3. So here's the trick, f4, making use of this en passant rule. Black can only take now en passant if he wants to, but that would mean losing his rook. So if he plays any other move, which he should, because otherwise he loses his rook, then he cannot take on f3 anymore, and white has improved his position obviously. Black keeps the advantage with moves on the h file, but white is still fighting here, and I think this position looks better than it has been in what we've seen so far up to here in the last 10 moves. And this won't be easy for black to crack, for sure. After e5, however, the position is just hopeless. The rook is coming in, both rooks are active, and So exchanges one rook, goes the rook to b3. White doesn't have any counterplay, and black just goes for the pawns here. And the g-pawn is not dangerous, and in fact, well, black could have picked it up, but rook c2 is even better. Now d2, and well, this pawn cannot be stopped. King e2, d1, queen, and rook takes f2, rook f1, rook c1. So Praggnanandhaa gave the rook, g5. Okay, the pawn is just way too far away. Just king d5. If g6, then king takes, g7, rook d8, and that's it. So after g6, after king d5, excuse me, Praggnanandhaa resigned, and that meant So took the win with 2.5 to 1.5. But who could have imagined that So would have such great difficulties against his much younger opponent? And this was the first time Praggnanandhaa played on a big stage against a world-class opponent, a match like this, and well, we can expect more good things from him to come, as he had serious chances, very serious chance to actually overtake his much stronger opponent in this match already. So this was my review. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if so, please subscribe to the channel. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye bye.